Alex had been in space for only 6 days when Carl Boucher, who was a real astronaut, told him to put on his suit and go outside. To go outside the station was a procedure that Alex had practiced just twice during his summer of training, and that had been in a zero-gravity simulation chamber. Not the same at all. Carl had assured him then that this was emergency training, to be used only in the unlikely event that he needed their assistance. Maybe the others had been disappointed to hear that, but Alex had taken a deep, quiet breath of relief. He hadn't minded Carl's arrogance in this context. It made him feel safe. "Me?" he asked Carl now. "What about Irma, Malik? They're probably more. They're coming too. Battery refresh." Carl turned away, and when Alex hesitated, Carl turned back, right hand at his belt, where he wore 2 spools of retractable cording with clips at the end. He started to pull out a line and offered the end to Alex. "You want a tow?" he asked. No, Alex said, and he pushed off the wall behind him to follow, pulling up Carl's training sessions in his phone's archive. Training, ground, spacewalk, unlikely event. He was certain he remembered nothing. When he found it, he sped up the footage to 4 times with captions. 2 Carls now. Carl of the past instructed him, the footage like stained glass over the Carl who floated in front of him. That Carl slid open the door to the suit room. He turned around just as Alex shook his head to stop the video. "You'll be fine," Carl said. Inside, their pale, pearly spacesuits were lined up along the wall. Malik and Irma were already getting dressed, and when they looked up to greet Alex, they did not look afraid, and they did not look like they were reviewing training footage at 4 times. "It's happening," Irma sang. Alex laughed uncertainly, the only way he laughed lately, and floated toward his own suit. On the wall next to it were 3 numbered packets of underlayers. Malik and Irma were into their second layers already, full-body leotards that covered them from the tips of their fingers and toes up to the tops of their necks. Alex pushed his limbs into the tight tubes and tried to catch up. "Don't rush it," Carl reminded him. "That only makes it harder." A spacewalk on day 6 was surely rushing it. When all 4 of them were in their complete underlayers, they carefully opened the seals that made their 3-piece spacesuits into one body. Now each suit was a boot pant piece, a torso-to-glove piece, and a helmet. "Remember," Carl said, "the suit stays put and you move into it. Legs first." Alex pulled himself up along the ridged wall until he was just above his target, the open waist of his pants. He slid his legs inside, and the pants crunched down with his knees. Carl had to come pull them up for him. But when it was time to put on his top half, Alex had no trouble at all. Malik struggled with his seals, and Irma got her gloves twisted, but Alex slid into his floating, empty astronaut body with ease. He was 9/10 astronaut now. The last 10th required opening the hatch. What was Alex doing up here, if he was not a real astronaut? For the last 20 years, Alex Welch Peters had been manipulating algae in hopes of creating a new species that captured more carbon dioxide than naturally occurring species did, resulting, if he cracked it, in less CO2 and more oxygen in the atmosphere, a slowing of global warming. Scaled up, it might begin to reverse the damage of his own species. It was not a question of whether it could be done, because Alex had done it once, a little less than a year ago. Tray 182. Alex believed with all his brain that he could replicate that result here, and he believed with all his heart that he must. But that was a little different. Alex had been offered 3 years of support and a completely controlled environment to create a means for carbon capture on this private space station. The owners of Parallaxis 1 wanted frontier scientists, unconstrained by the pressures of home, to show off to their billionaire clientele, and those billionaires would need air to breathe. Alex had been a lousy husband and father for the last several years while he tried and failed to save the world, and he had lost his marriage because of it. The offer had come at the right time. If he succeeded here, his children could carry with them the knowledge that their father's absence had not been in vain, that his work was for them, and that it had been worth it.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.